Well, guys, here we are again. We've made it through another entire week of American politics, which means Donald Trump has now been in office for only 33 weeks. He's got 175 weeks left to go. And of course, if you are counting down those days, it is 1,224 days until hopefully Donald Trump voluntarily leaves the White House. Now, of course, this week in particular has probably been one of the craziest weeks that I have had to witness since becoming a political commentator. And no matter which side of the political spectrum that you find yourself on, I would hope that moving forward, we could all just agree on at least a couple things. I mean, we should all be able to have passionate disagreements with one another in the marketplace of ideas. And I thought we all understood that those disagreements shouldn't turn into political violence, because political violence only begets more political violence. And then we find ourselves in some sort of doom spiral that's really not beneficial to anybody. And if we're really going to try to bring this country together, we all must do our part to heal the division that currently exists. Now, of course, we have made it to another weekly roundup, which means this is the part in the week where we've gathered up a whole bunch of different clips that don't necessarily touch on any particular topic, but it kind of gives us a way to catch up on anything we may have missed. And of course, we normally get to have a laugh or two as well. Now, given what has happened this week, I've tried to select clips that are a bit on the lighter side. And so hopefully I won't be adding to the whole mix of emotions that I'm sure most of you guys are actually feeling out there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start off with this clip where Pam Bondi is really having trouble with her words. If you guys do appreciate the work and want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe.
This tragic event occurred in 2021 in Chiapas, Mexico.
Do you guys think that was the first time that she had ever seen that word written down on paper? Does she have any clue what the hell she is actually talking about in this press briefing? Or what is going on here? I mean, you would imagine that as the Attorney General of the United States, somebody who's going to be talking about different states in Mexico, you might have some grasp of how these states are supposed to be pronounced before you go in front of the cameras and give some sort of press briefing about this particular place in Mexico. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that Pam Bondi doesn't know, or at least get closer to pronouncing Chiapas, Mexico. And instead she says, Mexico, Chiapas, Mexico. I just don't know if this shows incompetence or if maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on Pam Bondi. You guys be the judge. Let's go ahead and move on to this clip where you've got Mark Zuckerberg on tape, kind of just giving the whole game away, just proving that the charade that we see coming out of this White House is exactly that, a charade.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S. Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
That's a lot. Thank you, Mark. It's great to have you.
Paying attention, but sorry, I wasn't ready to do a for announcement.
He said I wasn't
sure what number you wanted to go with.
So I don't know if you guys caught it there, but you can see the captions on the screen. I wasn't sure what number you wanted me to go with, Daddy Trump. I didn't really know which number you wanted me to go with, so I just went ahead and I went with 600 billion. I mean, does anybody buy this shit? This is what Donald Trump did in his first term, right? He got all of these different commitments from all of these different companies saying that they're going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in the American economy. And then a lot of those projects, they just never came to fruition. And now you've got somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, who is undoubtedly going to be pouring a shit ton of capital into AI investments. But it's all just kind of a show. It's all kind of like, oh, what's going to make Daddy Trump look the best? And then when you just see it raw on a hot mic like that, it just really confirms all of your preconceived notions about what this administration is. Donald Trump is running his administration like it is some sort of reality show. And that's what all of this boils down to. So you've got tech leaders gathered up around the table. They're having some sort of dinner, some sort of meal with the president. They all go around, they heap praise on the dear leader, and then throw out these absurd numbers that probably aren't even close to true. It is all just one charade. It is all Donald Trump curating a narrative to sell to the American people. That is what I got out of this particular video. Let's go ahead and move on to this video where you've got Fox and Friends. And, you know, tell me you're not in a cult without telling me you're in a cult.
And so when President Trump tweets something like those terrible windmills, he's not just talking about they don't produce energy well. He's listening to people say, we don't want those in the horizon. We saved our whole life to buy this 50-acre plot in Montana. We don't want to look at a windmill when we wake up in the morning. President Trump is a common sense president, and he hears more than just some nerd saying, a windmill might save you a little bit of energy and be green in 40 years when it's worn out.
Does anybody truly care about wind turbines as much as Donald Trump? And to see Fox and Friends get up there and try to pretend like they are just so outraged, like they are just so concerned about the way these things look in our natural environment, it is just absurd to me. These are not genuine concerns. These are not genuinely held beliefs. Again, these people are playing some sort of reality show. They are pandering to the MAGA base, and more importantly, they're stroking Donald Trump's ego. They're trying to make this an issue seem important, or this issue seem important because Donald Trump, for all of these stupid reasons, thinks it's important. There is nothing wrong with wind energy. It is one of the cheapest ways that we can actually produce energy in this country. And now you've got this movement, this anti-woke movement, this anti-green energy movement that is rallying against these things for no apparent reason. I don't know about you guys, but when I drive past some of these wind turbines, I kind of admire the feat of engineering that has occurred. I mean, just imagine what is happening. You've got these giant wind turbines. They are massive, massive turbines, and it takes what? Oh, something landed on my nose, sorry. It takes 10 to 11 miles an hour only of wind to start rotating these things so we can generate energy. I mean, I just think it's awesome. And because Donald Trump is so butthurt by these things being seen in the distance at one of his golf clubs over in Ireland or Scotland or wherever it was, we now have people on Fox News pretending like this is the issue of our time. It is so damn pathetic. Let's go ahead and move on to Donald Trump getting booed at the U.S. Open. I'm sure most of you guys saw this clip, you know, being passed around. You saw Donald Trump, as soon as his face appears on the Jumbotron there, the crowd goes nuts and starts booing Donald Trump because he is so damn unpopular. He is doing so many things to our country that nobody really likes. But I think it's really interesting because the reporting shows that the broadcasting networks involved were asked to censor any what is the right terminology? Any disruptions in coverage. So you have broadcast networks, because Donald Trump is there at the stadium, he gets booed, and you have the U.S. Open, I believe, who was asking the broadcasting networks to try to censor as best they can any disruptions that he may cause. I mean, what are we doing here, folks? What are we doing? For the president to have that type of leverage over what is being broadcast to the American people, I find it grotesque. It's just straight un-American. And if Obama, if Biden, if George Bush did anything like this, I would be calling it out as well. And to think that this wasn't going to get out anyways, to think that people weren't going to see the cell phone footage that came from this event, I mean, it is all just absurd. Again, Donald Trump is trying to curate an image for the American people. He's trying to make himself appear as though he is more popular than he actually is. I mean, we went over polling this week, and he is 12, 14 points underwater. He's only standing at a 43% approval rating right now, which means more than 57% of people disapprove in what he is doing to this country. It's all pathetic. It's all grotesque. Should not be happening in the United States at the hands of the president. Let's go to move on to this clip where you've got Mike Johnson claiming that Donald Trump, well, he was actually an FBI informant.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
Yeah, so Donald Trump was an FBI informant. He tried to help take Jeffrey Epstein down. He as soon as he figured out that Jeffrey Epstein was a creep, well, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, and then he became an FBI informant to help them out. This is all just a load of shit. This did not happen. And even after Jeffrey Epstein was found out, even after the charges were brought against him, he was still part of Mar-a-Lago for an additional year. So to say that Donald Trump had some principled stance about what Jeffrey Epstein was into is just wrong. And the most insane part about this whole thing is you see people in MAGA media, people all around TikTok, all around Instagram, everybody starts parroting this message as though Dear Leader actually worked with the FBI to bring Jeffrey Epstein down. They repeat it like clockwork over and over and over and over and over again, and it didn't even happen. These people their reality is being curated for them. You get dipshits like Mike Johnson spewing lies over and over and over again. You got Donald Trump creating fantastical worlds for the MAGA base. These people have their reality curated for them, and then they stand behind Dear Leader at every single turn. Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He may have been more involved than we had initially thought when it comes to the whole child abuse thing. He is literally right now doing a cover-up in real time. And to think that he was working with the FBI, it is just ludicrous. It is complete opposite of what actually happened. Let's go to move on to this clip where you've got the Surgeon General of Florida saying that, nah, we didn't do any research, guys.
Before you made this decision to try to lift vaccine mandates for Florida, which include obviously public schools, did your department do any data analysis? Did you do any data projection of how many new cases of these diseases there will be in Florida once you remove vaccine mandates?
Absolutely. So absolutely not.
What? How is this even possible, guys? We are living in the upside down, where you've got somebody who is the head of public health in the state of Florida saying that absolutely not, guys. We're gonna take away all of these vaccine mandates for children, and we're not going to study what impacts that may have. What? This dude should be fired. It is completely contrary to all of our medical organizations out there. These assholes think that they know best than some of the best experts in the field. And when you take away vaccine mandates like this, even if you do have pro-vaccine families, they are going to have less uptake because they are no longer required. So it's easier to say, oh, we'll get to that next week. Oh, I don't have time for that right now. when you put that requirement in place, it makes sure that children are getting their needed vaccines. And to think that these people are not even studying what impacts it is going to have on their communities is a complete dereliction of their duty. These people they're going to get people killed. We're going to have children die because these people want to take away vaccine mandates without doing any studies as to the deleterious impacts that they will have. Every single one of these people have to be held accountable. At the very least, this dude needs to be fired from his job. He needs to have his medical license revoked. I don't know what the accountability mechanisms look like, but this should not stand in America. It just shouldn't stand. We all used to remember, we all used to understand that achieving public health is something that we all had to chip in and do our part with. And now these assholes are rolling this stuff back, and it's going to get people killed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's go and move on to this clip. Can anybody tell me what is going on with Donald Trump in this clip? I mean, it's wild.
Leonard E. Taylor.
So do you guys see Donald Trump's face here? His right eye is droopy. The right side of his mouth is droopy. And the only other place that I've seen similar musculature in the face like this is when somebody has a stroke. People were honestly wondering if Donald Trump was stroking out in this moment. And I am curious too. I just don't know what else to think here. I'm somebody who can make a whole bunch of weird faces, but I cannot get my muscles to do what Donald Trump is doing in this photo, in this video. It really looked like Donald Trump was stroking out. Obviously, there's a whole slew of health concerns that everybody's concerned about. We've got the exploding ankles. We've got the bruising on the back of the hands. We've got Donald Trump not being able to walk in a straight line. So there's definitely something going on there. And this is at a September 11th commemoration ceremony, and it looked like he's stroking out. Anybody else know what's going on here? Because it sure don't look right to me. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. It's the president of the United States. He's not even a year into his presidency, which means he's got more than 3 years to go. I'm just not even sure if he's going to make it that far. I'm honestly not. I honestly don't know. And for the last clip of the day, guys, kind of tying into this idea that Donald Trump is trying to curate reality for the American people, for the MAGA movement, for the cultists, I think Eric Swalwell really buttons that up in a really nice package. Listen to the way that he describes what Trump is trying to do with his rhetoric.
And so this is an effort by Donald Trump to erase what we saw with our own eyes. And he's not just doing this with January 6th to exonerate himself and to give himself clean hands. He's telling you to not see with your own eyes the rising grocery prices, which he said would be gone on day one. He's telling you not to see your neighbor being chased through a Home Depot parking lot because he's trying to work hard and provide for his family. He's telling you not to see the new wars that he's adding to the map and the ones that he hasn't taken off. And he's telling you not to see the drawing that he made for the world's worst child sex predator, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. This is Donald Trump's MO. How long did we hear that the Wall Street Journal was wrong, guys? There's no way that Donald Trump doodled down some picture that looked like a woman or a girl and then gave it to Jeffrey Epstein as part of some birthday book. There's no way Donald Trump that would have ever done that. There's no way that he engaged in that behavior. No way whatsoever. Donald Trump doesn't draw things. And then what happens? We get the Jeffrey Epstein estate to turn over the documents that prove exactly what the Wall Street Journal had said. It's exactly it. It's some creepy poem about how enigmas never age, about how we should, keep our secrets and so on and so forth. It was creepy, but this is what Donald Trump does. He says, don't believe your own lying eyes. We know that inflation is on the rise. We know that grocery prices are going up. We saw wholesale produce prices go up by 30 or 40%, and Donald Trump just says, hey, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, guys. Prices are actually going down. Did you see all the energy prices around the country? They're going down too. When it's completely contrary to the reality on the ground. Donald Trump is trying to build a reality for his MAGA base to live in. And now we've got two factions of this country, people who live in the MAGA conspiracy bubble, and then people who live in reality here on Earth. And we can no longer have conversations with one another because people in the MAGA bubble, they detached from reality ages ago. And so when you call the sky blue and they come along and say, it's actually red, how are we supposed to have conversations like this? Donald Trump has assaulted what truth is. He has assaulted the reality that people live in. And it is so detrimental to this country, where we can no longer agree on the basic facts on the ground. When people in the MAGA movement believe nothing coming out of the mainstream media unless Donald Trump gives them his blessing. It is an untenable place for our country to be in. It's untenable. We cannot live in two separate realities and expect that we can just come together and solve these hard political problems, these hard problems surrounding your health care, surrounding food prices, surrounding housing prices. These are complex issues. And if we can't agree on the facts, then how can we solve the problem? Donald Trump's assault on truth will be one of probably his greatest lasting legacies in this country. He has done so much to erode trust in our institutions, in our experts, in our science, in our vaccines. And it's going to take a lot of work to bounce back from that. I think that's all that I've got to say there. But I think Eric Swalwell does a really good job here in kind of packaging it up in a really nice package with a bow on it, saying that Donald Trump is pretty much telling you not to believe your lying eyes. And hopefully these people will start to come around and kind of snap out of that MAGA worldview that is no longer attached to reality. Maybe it'll have to be when Donald Trump is gone. I don't know. But it's an untenable place for our country to be on if we want to solve problems moving forward. So those are the clips that I had for you guys this week. I know it's been a rough week out there for a lot of you, probably a lot of mixed emotions out there. I disagreed with most everything that Charlie Kirk said, but I do not think it's okay in any world that he was taken out in front of his family, in front of 3,000 students at a university. I just do not condone any political violence, and I think both of those things can be true, right? You can disagree with what Charlie has to say, and you can also believe that he shouldn't have been killed for what he believes. I know it's been a crazy week out there, guys. I know there's probably a lot of emotion flying back and forth. Social media has been ablaze with just utter garbage this entire week. It's been so disappointing to watch. It's been so gross to watch. So I kind of took a step back for a couple days and, kind of tried to digest it all. But I hope all of you guys are doing well out there. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. I hope that you guys are enjoying this last bit of sunshine before fall really sets in. And I guess I'll leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share it with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We're trying to build something here on the left that pushes back against this right-wing media ecosystem that just launders all of this reality-bending nonsense for Donald Trump day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. Of course, that is free. If you guys want to go a step above and beyond that and help me produce these videos, you can become a member right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month. Or you can jump over to politiscape.substack.com, where you can have my content delivered directly to your inbox every single day without the doom scrolling, without the algorithmic bullshit. Hit me up on politiscape.substack.com to get my content there. I think that's it, guys. Everybody have a good weekend, and I will see you next week.